Hi, I'm Vicky Ross, and around here we do personal growth with a sense of humour. Because let's be honest, life really gets messy, and I know my own experience, just like everybody else. We overthink, we overgive, we underrest, we eat the wrong things, and then we eat extremely well, and then we don't. We move and then we don't move. And then we wonder why we feel like a tangled ball of stress with a to-do list. So here's a bit of fun. The moment that you can laugh at your own patterns, you can start to loosen them up. And this is where change really, really begins. I remember in all the years that I worked as an assistant to Paul McKenna and Richard Bandler, Dr. Richard Bandler would always say that if you can't laugh at your problems, then it's going to be really, really dredgy and dreadful and difficult to create the change. And the best thing about a shitty past is that it's over. So that is why this podcast exists. I absolutely love getting information, getting excited, feeling the passion and wanting to share it. And this is what this podcast is all about, is about sharing all the things that I know and the things that I hear. So for over 30 years, really and truly over 30 years, I have worked with people who are intelligent, they're very capable, they're very self-aware, and get stuck and are confused about why they're stuck. Not because they're broken, not because they're failing, but because they've been rehearsing a certain kind of conversation for so long. They've been rehearsing a certain way of being. And let's be honest, those conversations started to feel like a personality, which actually becomes a personality. So most people don't realize this, but your brain doesn't care. Really and truly, your brain does not care whether a thought is helpful or harmful. It only notices what you repeat. So if you keep explaining why life is hard, if you keep venting, analyzing, looping, your brain goes, this must be important. So let's make this automatic. And before you know it, stress isn't something you feel, it's something that you are. It becomes part of your personality. So this podcast isn't about fixing you. It's about helping you notice what you're doing without even realizing that you're doing it. Because I'll never forget this. When I first started, somebody said to me that most people, 95 to 97%, are unconscious and therefore they live a reactive life. And I thought to myself, that can't be. That doesn't sound right. Surely there are more people that are living with consciousness, with awareness, with purpose, and being proactive. But when I started to do my teachings and my coachings, my training, my therapy, more and more I realized that was so, so true. And therefore, what I'm really hoping that this podcast will do is for you to listen to what I bring on each episode and then to start reflecting that in yourself and bring an awareness of how you are showing up in life and therefore why you have what you've got. And if it's not working, what you can possibly do to make change. Because for me, there isn't a thing about being right or wrong, good or bad. It's not that. It's all about, is what I'm doing giving me the outcome that I want? And if what you're doing isn't giving you the outcome that you want, then you've got to take the responsibility and make the change. Nobody's going to do it for you. I would love to say that we've all got a magic wand, or there are magic wands out there, and that people can change and other people can change so that you can be happy. But the truth is, you are responsible for your life, for your happiness, for your peace of mind, for your security, for your stability, for your sanity. It's all down to you. And that's quite a big burden to carry for a lot of people. But it's also liberating, because if you take that responsibility into your hands, things can change. And that is the truth. They might not change instantly, but they will change, and you will eventually get the life that you want, which is the thing that I'm most passionate about. So, this podcast is about helping you notice what you're doing without even realize that you're doing it, is to bring that awareness and take you from the unconscious living to a conscious living. So I work with the neuroscience, I work with language patterns, and I've got something that I call my AIR method, which is about awareness, interruption, rewiring. So it's not to force change, it's more about making change inevitable. Once you know and see the truth and sit with it, you can no longer go back and do what you've become aware of. So because once you see the pattern, it starts to lose its grip. Once you can smile at it or even laugh at it, it stops running the show. And here's what you'll find here. Short reflections that interrupt old habits and thinkings. You will find conversations that help you hear yourself differently, see yourself differently. Simple ways to build resilience without turning life into another self-improvement project. Some episodes will be gentle, some might poke a little bit at you, but all of them are here to help you live with more clarity, choice, and with ease. So if you're ready to live a little lighter, a little deeper, or maybe stop taking every thought quite so seriously, you are in the right place. So subscribe, come back often, and let this be a pause in your week. A moment of awareness maybe that changes more than you think. Let's rise up, one aware moment at a time. I welcome you to my space, and here's to your success.